Wasn't that, oh, Mickey Mouse, what time is it?
Oh, 2:30.
It's Mickey Mouse time. Okay, we've got a great meeting ahead, and so we need to get started. First, I'd like to introduce William Ishmael, who is our juror and judge for our Mother Lode show that just closed on Saturday. Fabulous show. He's going to talk about that. And then after William is going to be Jeremy. And Jeremy's in here. Oh, there's Jeremy. Okay. Jeremy will be speaking about his art and how he does what he does, which is fabulous. So with that, I'd like to bring William Ishmael up.
Thank you. So Kathy had a long introduction prepared, and I said, well, don't do that, because I have a real short introduction that really captures what we need to know, which is I've been an artist for a long time, and I've entered so many shows like this and been rejected so many times that it gave me vast experience in being a juror. I mean, if I'd been paying attention, which hopefully I was, I know what the jurors look for, and I know what judges do, and that's my main qualification. And if you need anything more, Miss Publicist over here has run it in the paper several times. And I'm hiring her as my publicist because, as I told her, I've never looked better than when she wrote me up. So, first of all, let me compliment you guys on this show. The outreach that Sue Wickersham did and others to artists got a huge response. There were over 400 online submittals from all over the country. And I know in the title it says national, and that's really important, that it was a national reach. One of my friends said, I was surprised that Thomas Ramey is best of show right here. I lived in Placerville. Well, no, it's a national call, and I think that's really important to emphasize. It's from people from all over the country. In Southern California, there were several people, and other places. And the quality of the work was really good. So the process is 420 people, give or take, submitted. And so from the online images, I cut that down to 130, because that's the number of people that the MAC Center can display. So how many of you went to MAC and saw the show? Oh, good. Almost everybody. That's good, because I think it was a really good show. Sales were good. I think sales were decent. And then the other question I've got, how many of you are artists, creators, makers of any kind? Oh, perfect. So some of my comments are directed to, do you know how hard this is? Kind of comments. And if you've tried it, you know how hard this can be. Okay, with that, let me just run through the winners, not everybody. So, I feel like it moved the way. Can you guys?
Good.
No. Okay. Are any of the award winners here? Which one are you?
Crystallization to the PAA first place.
PA first place.
PA
The
first
crystal,
place. Oh.
and Valerie Burkhoff is in the back, and
Okay.
Jeremy Wells is over here.
Jeremy's, Valerie. Which one's yours, Valerie?
Valerie's Widow Party.
Widow Party. I love Widow Party. You were at the presentation at MAC, so you heard me praise it already. So I'll try not to overdo it, okay?
I promised her you would overdo
I
it.
would
That's
overdo
why
it?
she came today.
Oh,
okay?
she came to hear me overdo it. Okay. No, they're really good pieces, really great pieces. Okay, so this is. Okay, so this is. She calls it bent paper. I called it light and shadow, because when you see it in person, what kind of captures your eye is the folds are highlighted, everyone's highlighted in shadow. And then the composition that she created was this swoop, and then the swoop's cut off by a line, and these come down and they're cut off by this, and these, the diagonal here, cut off by that. So your eye just stays really interesting. interested in this work, and I just thought it was terrific. I mean, it's kind of like origami on steroids or something. Placer Arts Association, third place. So you guys, you know what the categories are for the awards. If not, we can explain it. Yeah, everybody knows. Okay. I love this. This is called Mario and Stella. I think he's Mario and he's Stella, or the squirrel is Stella, and he works, Sue found this out, at he's like a guru spiritual guy, and he works rescuing animals, and the squirrel he tamed in the process of rehabilitating him. So they became friends. But when I was judging this, I didn't know that story. So I call this Man with a Squirrel in His Head. What would you call it? And I think it's just charming. And this halo is referring to the guy, not to the squirrel. Gold leaf, boiling gold leaf. I think it's, did you guys see this at the show down in the back? Isn't it wonderful? Yeah. Okay, no. So I still don't know what Mu Yani Flowers is, and I didn't find it on the internet
Me either.
anywhere.
Me either.
So he made it up, which is fine. But this looks better in person, I think. Excuse me. In the image like this, it comes off as a little flat. When you see it in person, there's depth and forward compositions. These darker areas kind of recede, and you really get a sense of depth. And also with all the diagonals, you get a lot of sense of movement. I think it's a very powerful piece. The other thing I didn't mention, so honorable mention gets $100. The other thing I think that's great about this show is it's comparatively rich. Like when I tell people about it, best in show is $500. So that's an unusually high price, award price, and that as word of that, when word of that spreads, it attracts more artists.
And that can be attributed to the current chairperson, her ability to get entries, because without entries you can't afford the lucrative awards. And it was just a few years ago that we were giving art supplies in lieu of money because we could get donations from Dick Blick and places like that. And this show has really become, as you say, a rich show in that we can give these awards without having to have sponsors to cover a little bit of it. It's just been amazing. And one of the few of the people that have worked on the show are here today, but I want to recognize Donna Nelson for her contribution to the show as well, because Donna has been instrumental in the show for the last couple of years. And in that time period, we moved from art supplies to real money, and that's a big deal.
That is a big deal. So, congratulations.
And William, I also wanted to mention on this piece, and sorry for interrupting, and I didn't do that to you when we were doing this at the MAC, but we're on my turf.
I can feel you tapping yourself.
We're on my turf here, so here we go.
Right.
One of the things I loved about this piece is the way he went from the engineering elements on the bottom left corner, where you see the diagramming that he did, and then he broke that into prisms. And so rather than just being an abstract of an abstract, there's this definition of where that may have come from in his mind or in real life projecting out into the image. So I really love that. We had a little trouble getting this right because when it came in on entry thingy, it was 90 degrees off. And so once we saw it with the wire on it, we figured out how it should be, and then we made everything work. And I think it really does with that engineering in the bottom left corner projecting upwards. It's really nice.
Can you guys hear Lynette? Because I can go over there and share the mic.
They hear me. They wish they heard less of me, I think.
Well, yeah, and Lynette pointed out on the entry thing, which means the online submittal, it was twisted, but it still was a strong piece. And
Absolutely.
It still got in the show, and then got juried as honorable mention. Okay. Oh, I love this piece. So I learned at the presentation that this was Robin's COVID piece. She worked on this for like 2 years. So it's a digital painting printed on fabric, and then the whole thing is quilted. So the quilting doesn't show up on this image, but it's like tiny stitching which picks up the rhythm of the composition. And it's a beautiful texture fabric piece. It's quite wonderful. Lynette, any comments on this?
No, it is a very interesting piece in person, and we're seeing more and more fabric art coming up, and we want to encourage that. I mean, we're beginning to have an overlap with the Quilter Society when they do art pieces.
Good. Okay. So this is so Louise entered 2, and online, I mentioned this at the presentation, I liked her other piece better. But when she brought them in, this piece was a much more interesting piece. The other was blue and symmetrical. This is obviously not symmetrical. And it's, she explained, she went to Pottery Barn and took photos. And then she made a photo collage in Photoshop and added the colors herself. And so it's a lot of originality. I mean, I give it great credit. I'm not a huge fan of digital print generally, but this one shows great originality. It's got reflection, it's got depth, it's wonderful. Plaster Art, 2nd place. Oh, this is John Angel. So this is an actual scan of his brain. And I think that's really wonderful. And when he did the presentation, he talked about how each brain state related to the pictures above. Like the happiest picture was when he was an only child. And stories like that. And I just think it's so interesting that you can't get more personal than doing your own brain on canvas. A word of merit.
And it really became more meaningful to me after I heard John's statement. And we do have that original video of William with John at the awards presentation on our YouTube channel. So check out Placerville Arts Association on YouTube and you'll be able to see John's original statement.
Yeah, and that turned out pretty well.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
did.
I was pleased. Okay, so Heidi Murphy, this is clay. This is actually about this tall. But when I look at it, so I love the piece as it is. It's got this very subtle gradation, which is sometimes hard to achieve. It's got these mysterious round things at the top. Are those the heads of figures? Are they eggs supported by stalks? I mean, what are those curly things? So there's some mystery and some conversation you can have with yourself about this. And also, I saw it as a maquette for a much larger piece in a park or in a roundabout or somewhere in public. It could be a really interesting large piece.
This piece did sell in its original size, which is probably 16 inches or so. And she also made an artist statement with her entry that you will find at PAA.gallery. That's our website that we have the Mother Lode show up on. Will be up there till May. And she talks about these being human, the representation of human figures coming together and reaching toward the sky. And so it's an interesting artist statement to read on the website if you like.
Yeah. So I did have access to the artist statements, but in my jurying process, I really didn't read them. I was trying to look at the art as just the statement in itself. So thank you for filling that in. I did go back and read some later. Yeah, interesting. So Cat O'Donnell. So I love these pieces. These are huge. So these are solid wooden posts about the person height, covered with paraphernalia. And I've just signed up to take a course that starts next Monday on steampunk art. And I think Cat O'Donnell would be a great person to take that course as well. It's a 4-week course, so I want to get that link to her. She wasn't there, or she had stepped out of the room, which tells me she didn't want to talk. But her husband was there, and so I questioned, like, one of the fascinating things is to do this, you've got, when you're looking for the piece that goes here, you've got to have a choice of hundreds of pieces so where is this in their house? And do they still have a bedroom or living room? And he said it takes up a lot of space. He said he is the nail it right there, honey guy. That she directs it and he does it. And one of the things I love about it is like she couldn't have had any thought of selling it, because who's going to buy a 9,000-pound piece to call to their house?
Oh, I have to tell you, I've seriously considered it, and I still am.
Well, there answers the question.
Because I have a gallery in one of my barns, and so I'm like, that might be an investment piece. And she
Yeah.
also offered me a discount in the parking lot yesterday. So.
Yeah, if she delivers, that makes a difference, right?
Absolutely.
If she delivers. No, it's really a fun piece. I'm glad she did 3. 1 would have kind of looked lonesome, but 3 looked like a family.
Love it. I wouldn't even ask her ever to break it up. It's just so perfect together as a collection.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, go back.
Oh, okay. There's got to be a way to do it.
Well, if it's too much trouble, it's not
Okay.
that big a deal. Okay, so let's move on. So this is the Anita Wolf Memorial Award. Lynette, can you explain there's 3 awards that are in a category by
Sure.
themselves.
Well, we started offering the Anita Wolf Award when it was endowed by Joyce Martin. Joyce, many of you know, teaches oil painting here in town, and she was a student of Anita Wolf who worked primarily in pastel and oil, and her subject matter was typically impressionistic landscape and portraiture. And I would point out 2 things about this piece. One, the artist is in the room today. She came in a little late, so she didn't raise her hand, but she's back here.
Right.
And then secondly, my friend Judy Parker, 30-ish years ago, was a figure model for Anita Wolf, and her portrait, Eugenia, traveled internationally for it. So, small world department, but Anita Wolf is a local artist. So we have the Anita Wolf Award. Anita has passed away, endowed by Joyce Martin. We then have 2 additional awards, the Matt Sugarman Award, endowed by his daughter and wife. He's passed away. He was a naturalist, ranger type in our area. And then Joyce Benson, our juror for our summer show at the Bank of America Gallery at Folsom Center, also endowed an award. So we'll see those 3 special awards, and those were endowed at a value of $100 to $125, depending on who the donor was for that award.
So the way that process works is the folks that are backing these awards choose from among all the submittals. Like I think the Anita Wolf folks chose about 8 to 10 and said among these, I kind of honor Anita Wolf's legacy. The juror can choose the winner among those. Now, if there's a piece in there that otherwise deserves an award, that's okay too. But they want the award to go to one that they particularly were interested in. And since Marie Gonzalez has come in the room, let me say she had another piece in the show, Red Rocks in Arizona, the pastels. It was fabulous. I loved it as well. This is pastels, soft pastel, which if you guys have experimented with that, is very hard to not make just a mush out of and get it all smeared. But this is very crisp and kind of captures this scene, I think, beautifully. Okay. Okay, this is the Matt Sugarman Memorial Award. So again, there was a group that they were interested in. I love this guy because he seems to have a story to tell. He's got, in my mind, he evokes like he's seen things and he's thoughtful, and you'd like to kind of hear what it is he wants to say. And then this is the first time I'd heard of Yupo paper. If you've played with Yupo paper, there's no organic material. It's all plastic. So you can watercolor on it, and then you can take the watercolor right off. So there's, the plus is if you make a mistake, you can take it off. The minus is if you accidentally put your elbow in it, the whole thing's gone because it's not absorbed into the paper. It's floating on the surface, which I've now ordered a pad, and I'm going to see how this works. I think it's a really interesting concept with watercolor. Okay. Acrylic, but handled like oil. And I get a real sense of the storm brewing. I think she did a wonderful job of capturing that feeling, the mountain range, the dark clouds, the sun still hitting the upper clouds. The brush strokes are very energetic. I think it's a wonderful job, Sandra.
And one of the things she talked about when she was at the awards presentation was the little dot of light there at the base of the mountain. And that's actually her representation of the lights of the town there below the mountain. So she's captured the town in that as well.
Thank you. Oh, this is
And
Bicycle Arts
Candy's in the
Association
room.
first place.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The way you captured this light's amazing. It just sparkles both in the crystals themselves and in the pass-through light onto the surface. It's a fantastic job. Do you want to add anything to that? Did you have a nervous breakdown?
No, I love doing stuff like that. And I set up the still life on a piece of foam core in the bedroom on the Chase Lounge and kept watching the light and photographing and just kept, changing the crystals till I got kind of what I was looking for. And of course, then I edited from that too,
Yeah,
when I
right.
did the painting.
Could you guys hear what she had to say? Like, she played with it a lot to get it right. And I can understand. When I was little, we had crystal doorknobs on one of our dressers, and at just the right time of the afternoon, it would do this.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm just fascinated by light. A lot of my paintings are light driven, that's my kind of thing.
Well, it's a great job. First place, Bicycle Arts. Henry Parada, Award of Excellence. So you have to really see this in person. These are pegs coming straight at you, and then the pegs are different heights. So like this is a curve that goes back, and this is a curve that comes forward, dot to dot, and each peg casts a shadow. And I've been to his studio. His equipment's amazing, but regardless of the equipment, his patience and exact working style is the only way to produce something like this. He had two in the show. The other one had a lot of yellow to it. Did they sell either one of them? No. They're collectible, I think. I actually own a small piece of his.
These were large, and so it would be a real commitment. You need a space.
Right. Well, space, and also the color doesn't, it's a statement. It's a real statement in your home. So this is Widow Party. Valerie's here, so she knows I love this because they're joyful. It's a party, but you can see in the way she's done the skin and their expressions, they've seen a lot of life. They're widows. They've had a tough time, but they're still like, let's party. Let's get together. Let's smoke a pipe. Clay, you hollowed it out after?
No, I work hollow.
Oh, you work hollow. Okay.
I'm a slab roller and I work hollow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good for you. And they're beautifully done. Glaze? What kind of glaze?
I used underglaze on part of it, and then just I think it was an Amco low mid-fire glaze.
Mid-fire. Yeah. Great job with the skin tones. You rubbed it off. Yeah. Good job.
And I think that a comment that Valerie made at the awards, and I talked to her about this yesterday when she was picking this piece up at the back, was her comment that maybe one day she'll sculpt beautiful people, but she sculpts interesting people. And if you follow Valerie's work over the years, you'll know that that's absolutely true. She does sculpt the most interesting people. Her courtesans that were in the show last year were also very interesting people.
We've mentioned the MAC a few times. So I interacted with the MAC during this process. They did an incredible job. They worked really hard. They repainted the walls. They repainted some of the partitions. They hung the show. They did a beautiful job of grouping. The black and whites were together. You know, the pedestals with the ceramics were well arranged. They did a fabulous job. And I know she's committed to this show for the next 2 years.
Correct.
Which I think is a real plus. Okay. So this is Gary Walker, and this is huge. So this is the size of one of those doors. It's just enormous. And the thing I like about it, and I'm not a huge collage fan, but I really love this, is if you block out her eyes and just look at the rest of her, she looks so prim and proper. Her knees are together. Her skirt is very precisely to her knees. She's very prim. She's got her hands crossed. She's sitting in a stuffed chair, wallpaper. In fact, this is made from wallpaper. But then Carrie put this expression on her face that contradicts everything else about the painting or about the collage. I think it's wonderful. It turns out that I had juried her into a show previously for Habitat for Humanity. One year they did doors, and she did a door that was equally fun. But that is
And we've moved into the award of excellence now.
Right. Okay. So Jeremy's going to talk about this piece, so I'm just going to kind of go, Jeremy's going to come up in a little bit and talk about it. Okay. Graphite on paper.
And this was another special endowed award. William endowed this award as the Juror's Award to Jeremy's art.
And this is best in show. So this is about person height. The thing I liked about it is as you walk around it, kind of no matter where you are, they're in harmony with each other. And at the show, at the presentation, he talked about he did this after he'd been to a dance performance. So in his mind, these are two dancers that are dancing. If you go outside, I don't think it's sold.
It did not. However, he's such an interesting artist. He's done many public installations. And so this is actually a small piece for him. While it's a large piece for the rest of us, it's a small piece for him because if you do look at his website, you'll see some of the things he does. And he works with some amazing concepts around balance. It's like he'll have squares and circles and triangles all balancing, and you're just wondering how it's even staying level on the ground with the way it's balanced. So check this guy out, do a web search on him and go a little deeper into his work. I wanted to reassure myself that he actually had the kind of facility that he could produce this kind of piece in. Because I have seen other artists that have done this kind of work, usually smaller, and they'll send molds offshore and have the work actually done offshore. And so I went and looked, and you'll see his warehouse that he's working in, because he's not working in a garage, he's working in a warehouse, and he's got big chains and pulley systems to move his artwork around, and it's really, really, really impressive. And this stuff is that's a handcrafted piece, and it's absolutely amazing.
And he always opens his studio for Sacramento Open Studios. And I've been several times, and I really think it's a worthwhile visit. It's an unheated, uncooled warehouse. So there's that. But you're right, he does these enormous pieces, and he's got the equipment to do it. The cranes and the hoist and all of that stuff. You'll recognize him because he's got dreadlocks down to his waist. He's quite, if you saw him at the exhibit, you would know that was him. Okay, I think that covered your
18 slides that you had here. We really appreciate you doing
You're
this.
welcome. It was a pleasure. Everybody I worked with, even Lynette, was fun to work with.
Even
Even
Linnell,
Lynette, right.
our very own
Right.
Linnell.
Jeremy, you want to talk about your piece?
Well, hang on, what,
Yeah, make Jeremy
Thank you.
get that.
thank you.
Microphone. Thank you, William.
Does anybody have, sorry, Jeremy, just a second. Does anybody have any questions for William? He is quite an artist. You've been around the block a few
I
times.
have. I'm starting to look like one of our ceramic faces.
Yeah, it has been an absolute delight.
It was a pleasure. It really
Having you
was.
as our juror and judge.
You're quite welcome.
And, it's, maybe you'll come back.
Well, I wasn't invited. Just saying. Right, okay.
We gotta work that.
I am, but Sue did ask me to suggest a juror for next year, and I have talked to some people. And I hope to come up with a recommendation soon for a juror for next year.
Okay, that'd be
Okay.
great.
All right.
And just for the record, William and Jeremy, after you have spoken, we have a break and we've got a lot of goodies
Okay.
over there. You guys are welcome to stay as long as you want, okay?
Thank you.
Alrighty. Okay, with that, Jeremy Wells, do you mind if I say how old you are?
Yeah.
You do mind? Jeremy is 19 years old, and he is quite a prominent artist. You've got a great outlook, a great career ahead of you. So with that, Jeremy Wells. Do you want to hold the mic, or do you want to put it on?
Hold it, I guess.
Okay.
Are we doing the interview style? Or
We are doing interview style, and if you're going to sit down, which you may do, I'm going to just make sure that you're in my framework here, so I've got you. Okay, we're great. So Jeremy agreed to talk to us today, and I'm excited because he's going to do this interview style with us, and we'll put it up on our YouTube channel, and we'll just have it forever and ever. Question that, and of course you all can add to the questions, but we're going to start with 5 that I put together.
Are you gonna put the artwork up too?
Am I going to what?
Put his artwork up.
Picture of.
You know, I'm trying, but it's not cooperating at the moment because something has gone off with the projector here. So,
Linnell, I've got the questions that you
yeah.
initially pointed out, if you want to work on that, because that is a magnificent piece.
Yes. The only thing is, Kathy, you guys will have to pass the microphone back and forth because you're far enough away from the camera, which is actually what's recording your audio, that it won't pick you up, and so we won't hear the question. Since I'm sitting here shouting at the camera, we hear the question.
Okay.
So, and I'll be working on trying to get this thing up. This was the picture of the woman with the water dripping off of her was the piece that Jeremy won the Jurors Award for. And let me just start with, how in the heck did we ever find Jeremy to begin with, right? We worked the county fair this year, and a young man walked in with some artwork and some plastic sleeves, threw it down on the table to check in the amateur category. And I'm like, my jaw dropped. I'm like, oh my God. And so I got to hang that show along with Ron Hall, who helped me. And Ron and I decided to put Jeremy's art in the back corner. You couldn't see it when you walked in, but we kept sending people back to look at it. And they would come back, and they were voting on People's Choice Award as well, and they would come back and they would put their ballot in the box, and they would say, oh, he's amazing. And one of his pieces won the People's Choice Award. And then the fair guys kept coming around. They have this judging panel that they come around, and they look for the best exhibitor in the fair. And so they gave Jeremy the Golden Johnny Award, which is the award that goes to the single best exhibit decided by the board of directors, the fair's board of directors. And so Jeremy won that award. And then when part of his prize for winning the People's Choice Award was supposed to be a membership to PAA. The little Dickens signed up for PAA the day before we gave the awards. And so we didn't have the opportunity to give him that membership. So we had planned to give him a $50 award for People's Show, but because he had slid in his PAA membership the day before, we went ahead and gave him $100 for that. And so that was the first time PAA gave Jeremy money. And then we encouraged him to enter the Mother Lode show, and he was juried in with 2 pieces. And one of those pieces, William decided to give a Juror's Award to. Both pieces are exceptional. So, Kathy, you're going to ask some questions, and I'm going to try to get these pieces up here.
Okay, well, there you go. Can we pass that back and forth? Just, okay, can everybody hear? Okay, well, shoot, I gotta get it back up again. I just dumped it. Okay, these are a couple of questions. Well, there's 5 of them that Linnell came up with all on her own. What medium and process did you use for focus? Is focus the name of the girl with the,
Yeah.
okay. We've got to get that picture up, and we will. What was the type of pencil and paper that were used? Okay, let's take it one at a time. What was the medium and process you used for focus?
So like on the show, it said it was graphite. I don't think I used any charcoal. I think it was just graphite pencils. And I have multiple different types, but I found this one type from this brand from Germany, and they're called matte pencils. So in light, they don't reflect as much because graphite's very reflective. So especially on the darker values, it doesn't shine as much or glare. So those are my favorite pencils now. I only use those. I don't use any other ones now. And then the process, I drew a grid on the paper actually, and then I drew in a photo app a grid on the reference photo I had so I could make the proportions and everything correct, which is a lot easier than just eyeballing it and trying like I used to do. And then I started, I think at the top left of the page, and just went down because I'm right-handed and it'll smear on the paper as you go. But I recently got a glove actually that goes on your hand, so that like helps with that for sure. What else was the question?
Let's go, sorry about passing it. What was the type, okay, the pencil and paper used, okay, you did that. Did you start in the middle and work your way out? Top corner
Yeah,
or eyes?
top corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Top
started
corner
in
hair
the
or top corner dark?
The left, top left.
Okay, top left because you're right-handed. And so you started there and you worked your way down, huh?
And that makes sense, so he wouldn't smear when he works. Ron Hall, who works in acrylic, always works from the center of his paintings. And that's why I asked the question, because I wanted to know if you're spinning her while you're working,
Yeah.
or if you were working kind of that way down.
I usually move around my paper for sure. The tiger one that I submitted in the fair, that one actually started with one of the eyes and just went wherever I wanted to
Ah, okay, so you will start in different places depending on
Yeah.
what you're working on.
go. Yeah, or just how I'm feeling, how I want to do it.
Yeah.
Can everybody see the picture? Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? Linnell's heard that you have explored having your work made into prints. What have you found out about the process, and what is the cost to produce a print?
I did some research trying to find what the best way of reproducing images was, and I don't know how to pronounce that. I think it's like G-clay printing. Yeah, there's a guy in Sacramento that I found that I've been going to, and I got some prints done of this. Another one that made it into the show because in case it sold, I wanted to have a copy, you know. And it's not too expensive to get the scan. It's like $40, but it depends the size and also how much medium's on the paper. And then each individual print, the more you get, it'll be cheaper. So it's really not too expensive to get some.
Is that Josh King?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm gonna keep going to him. He seems good.
How old were you when you discovered your talent? Have you explored other media, and if so, which ones?
I did watercolor painting for like a month, sometime this year. It was fun for a change, but I definitely enjoy drawing way more. So it was nice to try out, but I think I'll stick with drawing most of the time. And then to answer when, that's kind of hard to say because I've always been kind of into doodling and everything when I was little and coloring books, but I didn't really seriously start drawing until about 2 years ago, I'd say. And before that a little bit in high school, but I wasn't consistently doing it. The past 2 years, I would say, is when I realized I had a decent amount of talent in drawing.
A decent amount, yeah. Jeremy, Linnell has put up a split screen, so she's got both pictures up there. What is the name of the gentleman?
In the distance.
In the distance. That's in the distance, which is an apropos title. He's looking off into the distance. Pretty nice. I love that beard. Wow. Amazing. You recently told Linnell that you were 19, and I think you have finished high school. What are your plans, if any, for extended education in art? And are you interested in extended education in other subjects?
Yeah, I'm kind of working on that right now. I'm taking 2 college classes, one for computer science and then one a drawing class, but it's fun, but it's very rudimentary since I've been drawing for a while. So I don't know, it's a big decision because I'm thinking for the future. I know that I want to have a family and kids and everything and provide for them. I know it's very hard to make it with consistent money as an artist. So as much as I want to go full in and dive into that, I most likely won't, but I'm for sure going to be drawing and doing art my whole life. I know it's like my biggest passion. But I think I'll keep going to college for a different job, make consistent money, and then do art on the side and hope that gets big enough to where I could take that over and quit my other job at some point. So, that'd be nice.
So can I add there?
Absolutely.
So I've mentored some other young artists, and Jeremy just said exactly what I tell every single young artist. Get a job, get a training and get a job that has a consistent salary, and do this on the side and do it after you retire or do it later in life. Don't try to raise a family drawing pictures. So you've gotten good advice somewhere.
It's such a bummer.
It is a bummer.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
That is sad.
I mean, $300 and then another $300 in 6 months doesn't exactly.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't pay the bills.
Right.
Well, following up on that, who did you get your advice from? Or is it in your head?
Yeah, I think that was just my logical thinking of the future, looking ahead. I don't think I ever got that advice specifically from someone. I don't know. I know a lot of my family wants me to kind of go for it, too, which is an interesting conflict.
Go for drawing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm for sure going to be doing it no matter what, so no matter what else I do, so, yeah.
Well, you opened a door. What does your family look like? Do you have siblings?
I have one sister.
You have a sister,
Yeah.
older, younger?
Yeah, she's 26. So.
Ah, is she artistic?
Kind of. I know she painted and drawed.
I should sit next to
I
her.
know she painted and drawed a little bit when growing up, but she does dancing, so that's like her artistic avenue for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your parents artistic at all?
My dad does woodworking, or used to,
Uh-huh.
but that's pretty much it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's, where does that come from? Where does talent come from? You have it or you don't, if you imagine a future in a successful career in art, what do you think it would look like?
Pass the mic.
What I would ultimately want to do is just draw whatever I want and be able to sell it as prints or originals. I don't think I would really want to work for a company where it's somewhat my art where I have to do it under certain guidelines, because I would rather just be free to do what I want. So ultimately, just being home with my family, being able to draw and sell and make money that way. Be really nice.
Can you imagine focus on the side of a building?
Yeah.
That'd be cool, huh?
That'd be very cool.
That'd be cool. So, you know, kind of entertain that. Does anybody have any questions for Jeremy? Yes.
Do you have a website? Do you have?
Not yet. I post all my drawings on Instagram,
Okay.
but yeah, I haven't made a website yet. I probably will soon.
I see people here. What other things do
Um,
turn you on?
Kind of anything. Mostly the past 2 years I was doing portraits and trying to learn how to draw people because I knew how hard it was and I wanted to learn. I've drawn like a coffee cup that was very like glossy and has a lot of reflection. That's really fun. I don't know, I have to think. I kind of forget a lot of the drawings that I do once I finish them and put them away or on my wall. So,
One other question. Does that person look exactly like that, or do you find that sometimes the cheekbones are different, or the noses are different, or?
from the reference photo, it's fairly similar to the reference photo. There's a few parts that looked kind of odd that I changed. Like I remember the water that was on the lips, that's like part of it was out of focus and part of it was in focus, was kind of weird. So I improvised on that, which is always scary because it might not look as realistic, but yeah.
It's beautiful.
I have a question. Is the white in both of yours the paper, or have you used white Conte, or what?
It's the paper.
So,
Yeah.
so the question was, is the white the paper, or have you used something else? And I'm just repeating that because the camera won't pick that question up and people will want to know what you're answering.
Yeah.
Or I actually did use, for this, the dots on the forehead of like glistening. I actually did use a white gel pen, but everything else was just the paper.
But the beard is just all negative around the white paper?
The beard, I have a little tool that actually you can like cheat to do hair like
Oh.
that. So normally, if you wanted to draw around all of that, it would take forever and not look as precise. But I have a tool that you indent the paper beforehand, and then once you draw over it, it's just white. So the beard was honestly really easy because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
So you mentioned reference photos. Do you draw from real life? I mean, plein air?
I always wanted to draw from my imagination, but it's really hard. And every time I've tried to, I feel like a 4-year-old trying to draw. Like, it just doesn't work. Yeah, a lot of times I would set up my own still life and draw from that more so for practicing. But if I was going for realistic pictures, I would normally find a reference photo. The eye drawing that I submitted, that one to the Mother Lode show, that one was actually a photo of my eye that I took from my phone, and then I drew that from that. So that was like my first original reference photo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Donna?
Jeremy, please continue to do your artwork and don't let your family and children get in the way whenever you get to that point in your life.
Oh yeah, I'll be sure to.
Oh, okay, Bill?
Hi there, I'm not an artist. And the subject that you had there, had she been pregnant before, do you know?
I have no idea.
The reason I ask that is she looks like she has melasma. Melasma is a darkening of the part of the facial skin that some women get when they have a pregnancy. And I don't know her age, and I don't know if the pregnancy or the darkening I see on her right malar eminence, cheek and eminence,
You
is
mean
due to
up here?
Yeah, is due to a shadow?
Yeah, it was shadow.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Thank you.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. Thought about it.
Okay, Valerie?
Do you use like an eraser to take some of the graphite out for highlight?
Yeah, usually when I first started drawing, I thought erasing was mainly for like mistakes, but it actually is mostly for detail, at least that I've learned. Yeah, I have multiple different erasers. I have some that are like very fine point and skinny, and then I also have an electric one, which works so much better for like dark spots, and I use that for some of the water droplets over the black area. So yeah.
Well, I've never heard of an electric eraser. I learn something every time we have a presentation.
Graphic
Cool.
designers use electric.
It just spins really fast.
Huh.
And any more questions? How big are these?
Like 14 by 17 is this one, and 14 by 16. So yeah, at the time, these were the biggest ones I've done, and now I have bigger paper that I want to try something on next.
Wow.
What kind of paper do you work on?
I don't even know what the paper was for these, just generic. I probably got it from Walmart. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you just, yes.
Were the reference photos, were they black and white or were they color and you made them black?
They were colored, and then, or that one was actually black and white, but this one was colored, and then I just made it black and white editing. Yeah. Helps a lot.
And Maria?
How can I find you on Instagram?
I don't know if I should just say my Instagram name here, or I could write it down somewhere and get it to you after.
Oh, okay.
Either way.
Thank you.
Set up a business one, then you have your privacy, but
Yeah.
they can find you.
Any other questions? Oh, yes, Valerie?
After they're done, are you putting any kind of fixative on it, or is it just?
Yeah, I have a spray that goes over it to make sure it doesn't smear, fade away over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do take that Focus is an original. And so you sold it. So you don't have any prints?
No, I do. I got prints of both of these in case they sold.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
And
Well,
then I have,
that was something that he and I talked about
Yeah.
because he was concerned about letting his original work go. And we talked about if you're going to put that in an art show, you usually can only enter one not for sale piece to begin with. And if you're thinking about entering in an art show, go ahead, and that's why I was asking about the prints and if he'd gotten that taken care of, because otherwise he would lose his piece altogether. But now he's preserved it in that he will be able to sell prints as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. You gotta learn by the seat of your pants, learn as you go along. The art class that you're taking, has the art teacher, professor seen your work?
I've only showed him one. It wasn't either of these. It was the coffee cup, actually. So yeah, he doesn't. I haven't really shown him much of my work. It'd feel weird to just come out and like show him like, hey, look what I did. So, but he's definitely seen that I've been able to draw for a while just from what we've done in class.
Where are you taking the class?
Folsom Lake.
Folsom Lake.
So I take it you're in drawing 101. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna take the class next semester. We'll see.
You can cross that bridge when you come to it. Any other questions? No? Jeremy and William, this has been fabulous. Thank you. It's art, and it's beautiful. Thank you both for coming. And hope you stay with
And I'm going to turn off the recording, and then I'm going to let Jeremy.
us. Back to the meeting. Take a show of hands. Okay.
Who wants to hear the announcement?
That's how they scam you.
They're good announcements. They are. They speak to the heart. All of our announcements do. What I'd like to do first is introduce new members.
Oh, yeah, that's the good part.
Yes, this is a good part. Our fearless leader even said so. First, before we do new members, are there any guests? Oh, okay.
But you're a guest.
And you are, yeah, Bill. Bill is a guest.
I think Bill's a doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah, I think we've outed Bill on that. It was just a couple of things. He was giggling about a menopause comment there in the back, so I'm pretty sure.
The modeling on the face, that was really good. Okay, Bill is a doctor, he is not an artist. Okay. But he's here as a guest. And
He's an art
Donna?
aficionado, he's an art lover.
He's an art lover.
oh, he's a Roberta lover.
I don't know where she's going, but I got it.
Are you?
So Wendy is a guest.
Okay, are you with Donna?
That Donna,
That Donna?
not me, Donna.
No, not that Donna, that Donna. And thank you for coming.
Well, I will take membership under consideration because I think it's two-sided. So I think,
Absolutely.
well, you have to reject or accept, right?
We? Oh, gosh, no.
They accept anybody,
I
don't
know
they?
that's-
I hope so. I definitely have no pedigree.
If you can draw a stick figure, you're in.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
They have $35, right?
No, for real.
Oh, and money.
I only can draw a stick
If you draw
figure.
a stick figure and you have money.
Yeah, I help. I'll do anything.
That
But it's not
today,
expensive.
No.
by your next meeting, I will.
My problem is I can't draw a stick figure. I can't, I don't
That's
draw.
all I can draw.
I can't draw, I can't paint, I just, yeah.
And,
So I scoped.
and some of us are better at buying art supplies than we are at doing art. I'm really good at buying art supplies.
Donna, she was buying supplies.
There you go. Okay, so
All right, well, thank you.
according to my estimation, I think we've got 3 new members. And what I'd like to do, who have brought their art, can I have a show?
Oh, good.
Okay, so,
I'm sort of new, I missed
are new.
one meeting. I came in and I missed the next meeting.
okay, all
But I
right.
brought a little bit.
So I think we've got 4 new members. Did you bring
Awesome.
art?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, a little bit of art, okay. So why don't we start with Candy? Because you're right up in front.
Oh, because,
Front seaters, they get picked.
okay, so what do you want me to say?
What I'd like to do is have you brought your piece. Candy, 1.
She's a celebrity.
Meredith,
Look at that.
Meredith, that's
Oh, look at the one she brought.
Look at, oh, that's even better.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Oh, look at, the lady's even got gray hair.
So Candy,
I love it.
Okay, Candy, you got to come over here so you're in camera range, and then you're going to show it to the camera and the people.
but if you could show your piece and maybe talk
Yeah,
about what medium you work in.
Yeah, show the camera. A little higher. Okay, that's good. We got it. Thank you.
It's better on me anyway.
That's beautiful.
Let me do this.
Okay, I'm Candy Thompson, I live in Rancho Cordova. I'm a straight watercolor artist, that's all I do. And this piece is Julia. She's a dear friend, well, her grandmother is a dear friend of mine. She's also a friend. And she was in Spain for 2 years. And she sent me photographs when she was in Spain. She taught English in Spain. And the photographs were beautiful, but they weren't good enough to paint from. So when she got home, she came over to the house. I shot photographs of her and I did the painting. And she hasn't seen it yet, nor has her family. So the grandparents have seen pictures on my phone and they both cried. So,
That's great.
and I've been painting for about 32 years.
Well, welcome Candy. It's good
I
to have
actually,
you.
I was a member many years ago with PAA.
Oh,
And
wow.
somehow I got dropped, but I mean, I was a member for a long time.
Wow.
And we found her again, I think, through the Mother Lode show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we've gotten much more aggressive with recruiting people from outside Placerville that have entered the Mother Lode show. And we let them know there's additional level of awards. And in fact, that's what Candy got, was one of the Placerville Arts Association awards. And the first place award is a $300 award from Placerville Arts. And it's the same level as the Award of Excellence is in the main show.
So do you teach?
No, I don't.
Will you ever demonstrate?
I might consider demonstrating.
I'll write her name down right now.
Consider.
Anyway,
Well, thank you and welcome. Welcome.
And not to toot my own horn, but when she walked in with this piece to the Mother Lode show, when she checked in, and I said, "Oh, you're a Placerville Arts member. You're eligible for a special award." I was in my mind thinking, and I think that's the first place.
well, somebody said to me, because I couldn't go to the reception, somebody said, I'll accept your award for you, and I go, don't jinx it.
And if we go up front, and what is your name?
My name's Deb Walker.
Deb Walker. Okay, Deb Walker is a new member, and she's brought a piece of art. You want to come on up?
Don't forget to show the camera.
Yeah, don't forget to show the camera.
Yeah, show the camera.
Semi-new member.
Yes, I was here 1 month before. Well, these are all big, and so I brought little ones because I had to go to work. So I just brought copies. But this is one I call Halcyon. It's about this big.
Oh.
But anyway, it's just a print. I had G. Clay Kings copy it for me.
You want
What's your original media on that?
It's acrylic.
Acrylic. Okay.
These are all 3 acrylics. I have watercolors too, but I didn't know I even could.
Oh, the Highlander cows are so good. Kathy sold a ceramic piece that's a Highlander cow.
Hold it up.
He's a neighbor. I mean, it's just in the pasture by our house. And then this one is from my daughter Jessica. She walks by the river at her house, and she sent me a photo, and I painted the river dogs.
Oh. Those are otters.
Yeah.
Otters.
River dogs.
Oh,
Our
my
house
gosh.
calls it, we call them river dogs.
Oh, can you guys see all this?
It's big, but like I said, I had to go to work, so I had to bring little ones.
Little ones, yeah. So these are, you want to hold that third one up high? Can everybody see?
They're not very nice. Anyway, I didn't know I could do it. I had a health thing that it's no big deal. But anyways, so I was going to Looney Bins, and I took a class, and I took Spanish at Folsom Lake College, and anyway, I took the Spanish classes, and then they said, well, you should take ceramics. So I took ceramics, and my ceramics teacher said, you should paint. And I said, I can't read my handwriting. So she goes, you don't have to read your handwriting. So anyway, so I took, I think 2 semesters, and then I had to go back to work. My daughter, I was, of course, doing fine. And my daughter manages American River Construction, and her health quit, and she pulled over on the side of the road crying, couldn't cope anymore, and she said, I don't have the energy to interview, can I please hire my mom? So I quit and came back. But I'm still painting, just at home.
Well, and I'm hoping that you new members will feel like you want to enter our member shows as well. We have 2 a year at the Government Center here in El Dorado County, and it's a week-long show, Monday through Friday. You bring your art on Monday. We accept up to 4 pieces. It is not juried. You bring it, we hang it. And there are small awards, there are nice ribbons, and it's a fun event. We often sell 4 to 8 pieces of art at the spring show, primarily because we try to schedule our show on the week that people are paying their property taxes. So they walk into the Government Center, and we get them on the way out to buy art. It's very effective. So we sell more at the spring show than we do at the fall show, but we usually sell a piece or 2 at the fall show as well, and that's usually in October.
Bridget. I met Bridget at the Mother Lode show. Bridget, did you have a piece in the Mother?
No, in 2018 I had my photo, because I'm a photographer first, and a list of 2
Extraordinary.
listings.
Amazing. Can you imagine going out into Nevada and photographing the Mustangs? Her photos are spectacular. So Bridget and I got to talking while I was at the Mother Lode show sitting, and I said, you need to join us. We're great. And Bridget, you live in Rancho.
Fair
Oh,
Oaks.
Fair Oaks. I kept saying that, and it's Fair Oaks. I think Rancho, I don't know that area over there. But Fair Oaks, and so Bridget signed up online. We don't have Carrie here. Oh, Carrie, did you see Bridget?
Yes.
Oh, yay! Oh, yay! Okay, good. Okay, so here's Bridget's last name.
Locken. L-O-C-K-E-N.
Bridget Locken, you jumped in and do it with both feet.
So
Fabulous.
I'm starting painting acrylics, and I started in June, and I've been taking classes. But I want to paint my photographs once I start doing it.
Ooh, the camera's like, whoa, wow.
Pulling a China shop here today.
Those are great.
Thank you.
I love the little bit of looseness in your style. That's
This
awesome.
is the palette knife, and
Yeah.
this I tried some glazing techniques that drip down, and but my goal is to paint my photographs. I also go whale watching, and I just love wildlife and nature, and always have. And so I started this in June. I painted a multicolored lion that my friend Kelly from Kelly's Cookies asked to have me donate it to her Taste of Plaster event, and we auctioned that off, and it sold.
All right.
So I thought, well, somebody likes it, so I want to start doing more. So I've done these guys, and a lion, and a tiger, and an elephant, and I'm working on a bear right now. After going up to Taylor Creek and photographing some of the black bears and the salmon, it was really fun. So thank you for inviting me. I just went to go take a look at the gallery because I had signed up for the membership there, and she was right up front, and she goes, well, you know. And I said, well, I know about Mother Lode because I had in one of my photos in it in 2018, and I just hadn't been back in doing competitions and stuff, and so thank you for the invite. You're the reason why I'm here today.
Wait. And now you're back in competition.
I guess so.
We do a lot of shows.
Okay.
And I understand the SAC Fine Arts too.
Yeah, I signed up for, because she told me about SAC Fine Arts,
Yeah,
so
so
I
I
signed
said
up for
sign
that
up first, and Rancho Cordova.
Yes, that's
Yes.
how I got in
Yeah,
to see
yeah.
that, so.
She is around.
And a little insight for our new members, our spring show is based on media. And so if you're painting in acrylic, you'll be judged in acrylic, watercolor, and watercolor. Our fall show, on the other hand, with the exception of photography and AI, which are separate categories, is judged based on subject matter.
Okay.
So you would be in animals if you were
Okay.
bringing these pieces in, or if you're bringing in a landscape, it would go in landscape. For instance, something like this watercolor would go in our still life category.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
And just for the record, our member shows are not juried. So you bring a piece, it goes up on the wall
Yeah.
or on the floor.
And we allow up to 4 pieces per artist.
We're on the floor.
I think I'm sculpture. Maria Gonzalez.
Marie.
Oh, is it Marie?
It's Marie. There is also a Maria Gonzalez here in town, so two different artists. So be advised. This is Marie Gonzalez, and she's from the Sacramento area, Folsom, and then our local artist is Marie Gonzalez.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, so
Mea culpa.
No problem.
not the same one that got the award.
Yes.
She is the same one that got the award. I'm going to bring her award up. This is the Marie Gonzalez that got the award. That's right.
Do you want me to hold it?
This is her work.
Right, yeah.
Is this Marie's work?
This is Marie's work, and this is also Marie's work.
Oh, wait.
That's beautiful, Marie. Thank you.
And that's not a photograph, right, Marie?
No, it's pastel.
Say, not a photograph, pastel. Amazing, huh?
That's pastel.
Yes, yes. There you go.
Oh, that's Chinatown.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
Wow.
This pretty special. Thank you. This is an actually an old piece, but I brought it in today because it's a special piece because this is from my hometown in Yokohama, Japan. Yokohama is like 40 miles south of Tokyo, and we have a big Chinatown. And this restaurant up front has been there forever. And actually, it's my sister's classmates' parents' restaurant, so it's been there forever. So it's got a lot of special meaning, so I brought this in.
Nice, I'm glad you shared that with us.
A lot of people ask, how long does it take? So I always, nowadays, I tally the hours, 2 hours each. So this took 126 hours.
Wow.
And like, who was it? Oh, like Jeremy. Oh, yeah, like
Yeah.
Jeremy said. I start from the left upper corner
Uh-huh.
and I work diagonally across.
Wow.
So the right bottom corner would be my last spot. And usually when I move on, I don't go back. So I work on it, work on it diagonally. And I'm done.
And I got a chance to talk to Marie. She came to Art Lunch this past week. And, you know, you guys know Shirley often joins us at Art Lunch. And we have a great time. It's really fun. So when you see that come up in the newsletter that we're going to have Art Lunch, we rotate around restaurants. And it's just a real casual thing. We did talk about a few board things. And there were some things just really zipping around her head. And she was wondering what we're talking about. But we slowed down a little bit and told her what we were up to and the kind of things. And it's a fun way to do it. And I enjoyed my lunch and I enjoyed my leftovers for dinner.
Me too.
So
Thank you, Marie, for sharing. And your work is really exquisite.
Glad to have you. Thank you. Glad to have you on board.
thank you.
That was on the Joyce show.
We do not have a meeting, a member meeting in December. So the next time we're gonna meet like this will be in January. But January is a different.
January, it's the second Monday, not the third Monday, because the third Monday is a holiday. February, it's the second Monday, not the third Monday, because that's a holiday. So January and February will be the second Monday. The rest of the year, March through November, will be the third Monday.
Okay, so just please check the newsletter, because it'll, you'll have all
And,
that information
and if it
on there.
snows in Placerville, it's canceled. And the best way to know that, we will post it on our website, but the best way to know it is to follow us on Facebook. Placerville Arts Association on Facebook. If you follow us, those are the kind of announcements we will definitely post, and it'll show up in your timeline on Facebook.
Well, the other way is to get the Placerville cam that's up just before you, it's on that ice cream shop or whatever is right in front of the bell tower. So you can just go to Placerville cam and see whether there's snow there or not, you know?
Facebook.
Real time.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, even 3 or 4 inches sticking will stop us here because people are not used to driving in the snow.
No, and we're up on a hill.
Live cam.
So
I didn't know that.
if it does snow, we just cancel, but we'll get the information. So that brings up December. And December, we have our holiday brunch. And this year, for those of you who don't know, but it is in the newsletter, it's at the Buttercup Pantry in downtown Placerville. And have you been in downtown Placerville? You have, okay, so you know it, it's about 2 blocks long. The Buttercup Pantry on December 6th at 10 a.m. Right now, we've got 30 that are signed up, and we have room for 38 to 40. So if you want to sign up, you can talk to me, I'm in charge, or think about it and email me. All of this information is in the newsletter. The other exciting thing we do, well, 2 exciting things at the brunch. Shirley Rowe, one of our members, is running a choir. We're gonna have Christmas music.
I wouldn't call it a choir.
Oh, Shirley, you're here. Of course you're. No, I like the running the choir, directing the choir.
Like we're gonna have all 40 people stand up and sing, right, Shirley?
At the very end.
Shirley and I have spoken so much on the phone. There's four of you guys.
Yes.
And practice. I mean, you guys have to have at least 9 practices under your belt. It's going to be a treat, and we're going to have Christmas carols. And
On that note, did I actually get added onto that list of 30 that's going to the breakfast?
You're on.
And my husband?
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be kinda hard to sing if I'm not there.
Well, I signed you up.
I know, no, that's good, because I really sent a message, but I wasn't sure if it went to the right place.
Oh, yeah, but when I was talking to Shirley and Julia was
Yeah.
part of the group, I just put everybody down.
Excellent.
Yeah, so you're in, it's cool.
Oh, it's a Wednesday?
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday morning. There's a reason for that, I won't go into that, but it's a Wednesday morning. We did this last year and it was a huge hit. The Buttercup Pantry is really cool, and that's because Sylvia suggested the Buttercup Pantry.
They give us separate checks, so you don't have to prepay for this in advance. We order straight off the menu, so it's not real expensive. And it's real fun. Don't forget about the wrap piece of art. Don't forget, because that's my favorite part,
Wait, what?
Okay, the second, that was the first exciting, the
Was
choir.
the singing stuff.
That singing stuff, it's a choir. The second one is, and it's been going for years, and it's an art exchange, and it's totally voluntary. If you bring a piece of art wrapped, so nobody can see what it is, you bring it and you put it on a table that we've got, and then when it comes time, you go choose a piece of art. But you have to bring a piece of art to get a piece of art.
Does it have to be a piece of art, or can it be art related?
It needs to be your work.
Oh.
We are artists, so it needs to be your art. Which is, hey, no big deal. Because that's what we want, we want pieces of your art.
Art. I don't want art-related things in there.
Okay? Does
Don't
that
be
answer?
doing art supplies
Okay.
for the price.
Okay, does anybody have any questions about that? It's a hoot, it's fun, it's exciting, and,
And we
I'm
don't
gonna-
do a steal. We don't do a steal.
no steal, that's important. But I run it, so, how can you go wrong, right? Right.
Also parking at the Buttercup Pantry.
Yeah, parking.
When I've been there, it's like a nightmare.
There are a couple of lots across the street that you can get 2 hours in that aren't too far away. So there's a couple of public parking lots, and we usually try to keep it to about 2 hours for the event. So we should be in and out with enough time. Don't park in the Bank of America parking lot, but there are public lots that you don't even have to pay for. So
But that's one of the reasons why we have it on a Wednesday morning.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
because there's not so much traffic and parking is easier. Okay, any questions on that? Nope, moving along. Okay, we are looking for board members. And we've got 2 spots in particular, I think we've got. Well, shoot, don't we have 2 spots?
well, we have
I
2
just
spots
wrote
that we're
down.
actually would be willing to break it into 3 spots.
Okay, that's where I got, yes, okay. So hospitality chair, right now Roberta is in charge of hospitality. And she is a very willing participant to teach and guide somebody who does take on hospitality. We've got 2 jobs within hospitality. One, as you can see on the table behind us, that we've got goodies. And it's just a matter of sending around the sign-up sheet as the year goes on and gets into it, and people sign up for their date that they will bring a goodie. And Roberta kind of oversees that. And so that's kind of like a no-brainer. And the other one is we have special events. For example, we had the Harris Center at Folsom College, and we just had the Mother Lode show. And those are considered special events where we have a reception and we have food. And Roberta has headed that up as well. But we've decided to split both of those jobs into 2
Unless somebody
people.
wants to take on the whole thing.
Unless somebody wants to take on the whole thing like Roberta has and does a fabulous job. Roberta is moving into membership, so we need somebody in hospitality now. So Don't everybody raise your hand. Okay, single line. We'll have crowd control, just single line. Think about it, okay? Have we got another?
We do have an opening for a special events chairperson. And this is different than what she was talking about with reception at special events. This is a person, I've been doing this job in addition to my other work, but this would be a person that would take on something like a pop-up event where we might have an opportunity to bring several artists together into a venue to put pop-up tents up that they show a lot of their art. We're talking about having a special event this summer, perhaps for a week, perhaps for a month, depending on the budget, in an empty storefront in downtown Placerville. We've gotten far enough along that we've been communicating with the head of the Downtown Association about what might be available to us, and we'll start to look at some numbers around that to see if we can afford it. So working with those kind of events, for those of you who don't know, we have a trailer full of our own art panels that we can show art on and our own lighting, so we can take an empty storefront and turn it into a gallery for a short period of time or a longer period of time. So that might be the kind of special event that we would be talking about working on. And I work closely with the people who run our shows and do some of the back end work for the chair people, like I'll export the data from Entry Thingy, I'll manipulate the data, I'll build a website with the data. So you'll get a lot of support if you take on that kind of position, but it would be nice to have a front person for something like that wasn't me. But if you do want to take that role on for special events, I'm very happy to mentor you in it and support you in whatever you might need to get that done, as Roberta would support you on the hospitality role in getting that done. There's a little bit more on the hospitality for the meetings, because Roberta does set up this table in the front, make sure that we have blank name tags and pins and sign-up sheets.
Well, we were just gonna get their foot in there.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to reveal there's just a little bit of paperwork involved, but not a lot.
Forget what Linda
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
Just get your foot in the door. We did, on the board, we did open up a new board position, and Wendy signed up for it. Wendy is our board member. Yes, yay. Placerville Arts has had the studio tour for, oh my gosh, I'm gonna say 60 years.
Well,
Yes.
30. From what Valerie By told me, close to 30 now.
Well, 60 sounds better.
I know, but that's the Mother Lode Art.
Okay, 30 years. We'll compromise, 40. And it's had its ebbs and its flows and its ups and downs. And last year it was okay. It was all right. It's always held about September. So Wendy has gladly volunteered. Wendy will come to our board meetings, and the studio tour is going to be around September 20th-ish.
21st and 2nd is the Saturday and Sunday, and the 20th is a maybe, the Friday before.
Okay, so in the past, we've always done 2 weekends, which gets kind of burdensome, especially if you've got your art and you set it up and then you've got to shut it all down and then go home and come back the following weekend. So I think it's going to go for 1 weekend. They're going to try it, and Wendy is the go-to. She's the woman. So thank you, Wendy. Thank you for taking that up. Yay. Okay. Donna and Tony have something to tell us. Do you guys want to come up and tell us, or do you just want to sit there and tell us?
Shirley's phone message machine is making us laugh.
Oh, is that yours?
That's her phone.
Okay, just a bit of an introduction.
We're only going to be able to hear you if you come closer.
Oh, they can hear me because I can project.
Good. Yeah, but you need to be on camera.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I won't, yeah, I will. Okay,
Yeah.
no, you guys do it.
Oh, longtime members. Tony and her mother, Donna. Okay?
I'm the mom.
And also known as Rainbow and Spirit, in the Girl Scout game. Okay, because these two teach archery and have for years to Girl Scouts. They're also both very energetic artists and produce some very interesting artwork. All right, and now go. There's your introduction.
Okay, there you go. What have you guys been up to?
Apparently someone asked the PAA, would someone like to come and teach art to children at Sierra
Sierra?
Middle
Sierra
School,
School.
thank you.
See, I stalked you. I knew where you were.
Yeah, this woman was gonna volunteer, and I said, I can help too. Luckily, I've got Fridays off, it's only one day a week.
A month. One day a
Thank
month.
you.
But it feels like.
Prepping for it feels like. We've done one already. We try to talk to the teacher to see what she is teaching. She was teaching about the Miwok Indians. If you guys are aware that this is the area where the Miwok and Maidu were. So we had to come up with an art project that would reflect back onto her teaching. So we came up with.
Oh, now you're gonna turn it over to me, thanks.
I keep stumbling. You wanna talk?
The first lesson that we did was, she was teaching about the Maidu. And so I knew if you take the paper bag and you crumple it all up and get it really soft, and then you use charcoal on it, and thank you, Linnell.
Thank you, Linnell. Thank you, Shirley.
Thank you, Shirley,
charcoal.
for the charcoal. But I actually brought some charcoal from my fireplace, so the kids
They
had a
wanted that
really
too.
good time of getting messy,
Yes.
and the teacher was happy with it. And so we are in the next one, we're going to be doing clay and paper.
Well, first off, you didn't tell them what we did with the paper. You crumpled
Oh,
it up,
crumple
but
it up.
we did drawings on it like they were, because we do have,
Petroglyphs.
there we go. Rock pictures, petroglyph. Of course, we couldn't bring rocks in, so we did the crumpled up paper. So we showed us some designs. Luckily, the teacher also had a cheat sheet with some designs on it saying, this means this and that means that. And we told the kids they could tell a story or do a picture of their family, wherever they wanted to do, they could do it on the paper. And actually, we didn't have enough time. We couldn't fill in enough time. So when we do the holiday project, it's going to be two things. So now we've worked with paper and charcoal as mediums. Now we're going to work with clay, and we are going to work with scissors, cutting out things, because we're doing, we're going to do an ornament where it's going to be a hand-pressed clay that will air dry. We don't have to put it in a kiln, it'll air dry. And we'll bring things they can press into it, or they can write on it. And then we're also going to be working with paper cutouts, have them trace it and cut it out themselves. And we're thinking about a card with a poinsettia on the front. They can pick what color they want that flower to be.
Okay, so I want to say one thing to you guys. We kind of went into this and it was like, okay, we've done a lot of stuff with kids, so that's not the hard part. But I got to go back to crayons, which was my first medium, and that was kind of fun. And just bouncing stuff off of each other. If you ever get a chance to do it, do two of you, because then you can bring things in. And the teacher is extremely happy with us and receptive to everything that we brought in.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that Sherry Morris also contributed to the charcoal.
Okay.
Yeah, we came together and that was.
So,
thank you.
as the year progresses, we may be asking you to bring in weird things to help us supplement this supply. It's approximately 20 children that we're working with. They're approximately fourth grade. Third grade. Well,
Third
the
grade.
teacher pointed out to us that a lot of these students started out online. They're not used to being in class because of COVID.
They're COVID kids.
Yes. So it's been interesting working with them. And
They
we have
don't
to,
know anything about art.
we have to assign jobs too, so, and the teacher just lets us go, and she sits down and grades papers and just lets us go. So-
Yeah, which is fun. Before I had done it where everything was marked out and in a box and you couldn't deviate from it and it was horrible. This is more, we get to do some fun things with the kids.
How long do you
Besides
spend-
do archery.
How long is the class? How long do you spend with them?
About an hour and a half.
And what is their attention span?
When they were crumpling paper, there was no attention span. They were having a heck of a good time.
Well, that's good.
No, like I said, they finished so quickly with this one assignment. That's why when she suggested 2 things to do, we knew that would help fill out the time period more.
Yeah.
And then the kids were interested about the stuff they got on their hands. And if you guys can, they can't know if you can see me or not. I'll do it this way.
Oh.
Okay, that entertained him for like 10 minutes. Just doing this. I don't know how I got started with it. Oh, someone traced their hand on the board and he erased my thumb and I said, oh, don't do that, you can't, I don't have a thumb. If you take my thumb off, I can't do anything. And I started doing, this is exercises for drumming. I used to be a drummer, so this is one of the exercises you do to isolate your fingers. So that entertained her for about 10, 15 minutes. So, so it helps to have 2 people, but she's going, what is she doing? I'm playing.
Anyway, it was fun. So next time if another teacher, you know, 2 of you together, it's really fun. And it's only one time a month.
And these 2 have a lot of fun together anyway. Almost every year they paint a banner for Banners on Parade together. So it's a collaboration between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
And after the holidays, we're doing clouds.
Yes.
So we'll be needing some cotton balls.
No big deal. Cotton balls I can buy a big bag of. No big deal. Yeah,
Well,
I've already got
and once again, we have a small outreach fund, and if you guys need things like cotton balls, we can help you with that.
Oh, and you get to get fingerprinted too. First time I ever got fingerprinted.
And Placerville Arts Association is picking up the cost of their fingerprinting.
Yeah.
So if that ever is something that you guys are thinking about volunteering and you need help with those kind of minor supplies, minor expenses, we raise money for our outreach fund. I sold $235 worth of donations that Placerville Arts had given to me for resale just last weekend when I did a pop-up at my art barn, and that goes into that outreach fund, and that was a nice bump for our outreach fund at the end of the year. And also, if you guys are downsizing and have art or art supplies that you're getting rid of, if you will contact me, I will come and get that stuff from you. I will stage it in Art Barn, and then when it sells, we take that money and push it toward the outreach fund. We had a box of China paint that was given to us, and I sold that this last weekend in total in the box. So those kind of things then can turn around and go out to cotton balls and charcoal for our local schools to promote art.
Well, if they'll let us know before we have
Yes.
a meeting,
Yes,
then
we'll
we
try.
can bring things to the meeting for you.
Yeah. And one of the things we used to do was we used to bring magazines and books and people bought them. Can we go back to that again?
We cannot exchange money here in this room. Donna was selling aprons for a while, and she had to do like a drug deal in the parking lot if you wanted to buy an apron, because the senior center doesn't let us sell art supplies or anything like that. But if somebody wants to make a donation, I can stage it in Art Barn. We have sold frames, original artwork, art supplies, and we also will take some of our donated art and do silent auctions at our member shows, and we raise money for outreach that way as well. So we we sold 2 pieces at our last show, and we raised a few $100s for outreach that way. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And we got Rayleigh's to donate the paper bags that we crumpled up.
Oh, no.
She went to Rayleigh's
I just went to Rayleigh's.
and they said, here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Then you pay 10 cents each for it.
You know, the wineries are very generous too if you ever need wine.
Okay.
Well, we used to sell magazines and everything, but we didn't sell them in this room. We sold them in this room.
Yeah.
That might
Same thing
No,
in the
we
senior
didn't sell
center.
them. People took them and put a donation in a box.
Yeah,
donation.
but
Don't sell
we
it.
can't. They
Can't
they
donate
don't want us
money.
to do anything that moves cash in the room, which is why Donna had to sell her aprons in the parking lot.
Which
Okay.
reminds me, I do have aprons with me today.
Anybody wants to do a drug deal in the parking lot? See Donna.
Any questions? Yay.
Well, I thank you both.
Art deals in the parking lot.
Let's do what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to share our art with kids and teach them about art and get their imaginations going, and that's kind of what we're all about. Thank you. You guys are great.
PAA.gallery. Mother Lode Show will be up for several months, so feel free to check out our gallery. You can link to that from our placervillearts.com website or go directly to PAA.gallery to see that.
Okay, where did that come from? We were talking about what we do. It's okay.
I'm just trying to get another plug in for stuff, you know, before I let you all out of here.
Well, and then I made a boo-boo with Wendy. Wendy's got forms for the studio tour, and I meant to tell you guys that. If you're interested in being in the studio tour in September, you'd like a form from Wendy, don't be
Actually,
shy.
even if you're not interested, if you would just fill it out, because there's other things on there, like, have you ever done it? And,
Would you do it again?
would you do it again? If not, how can you contribute? So, if you don't
Okay.
mind. And then those of you who want to do it on the computer, you can do it on the computer, but I just brought them here with the hopes that we can gin up some interest in next year's studio tour.
Interest, absolutely. It's fun. It's fun. There's networking, it's enjoying art and work together. Lots of work together. Has anything changed? Okay. No.
Oh, do we have flowers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the deal, guys.
Just past the hospital. I know. Hospital's here, Sierra School's over here.
Okay.
And then Main Street.
Hey, we have one more thing. It's good. It's a good thing. And Valerie Burkhoff already left, so she isn't going to win this time.
Okay, she won't win. Okay, so here's the deal. Our beloved Donna Nelson always brings a bouquet of flowers in a vase every time we meet. And we kind of sort of raffle it off, kind of sort of. And so what I do, we've got 26 signups. So we pick a number between 1 and 26, and whoever's number gets picked, then that's the one that gets it. So, hold on, let me think. Okay, Candy, we're going to have you pick the number.
Okay.
No, just say it out loud. Everybody put your heads down.
Everybody think of your favorite number.
Between 1 and 26, pick a number. It's going to say it out loud.
Huh?
Then you can say it out
Oh,
loud.
13.
13. I'll go look. I'll be right back. Carrie, are you excited?
Well, never mind.
Okay, I was number 11, so big burn here.
Yeah, and I was 12, I should have been later.
Okay, so 13 is it Ellen Nelson?
Is it me again?
Are you-
See, always the same people always win.
My grandson wants them for his girlfriend.
I twice also.
I picked my yellow flowers, but they're all gone and dead.
So you are number 13.
I'm
Okay, and guess what? We're leaving early. We're leaving 3
Oh,
minutes.
3 minutes early.